When will these storms be over? There's an evil right over my shoulder.
From the streets and venues of Madison, North Carolina to American Idol, Troy Frobeen joins us here on Roco Radio. Troy, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Glad to have you on and glad to speak about your experiences, man. Tell us all about it. Let's start with where were your auditions and how did that take place? How did you make the decision to try out for American Idol?
Yeah. So the audition city that I went to actually ended up being California.
Okay.
And it was, if I would have auditioned, they said 2 weeks prior on the Zoom calls, because you have to actually go through a whole Zoom call thing before you even get to go in front of the judges at all. They said I wouldn't have been able to drive down to Georgia, so that would have been a lot easier than a whole flight to California. But the experience itself, driving or flying out there and all that was amazing on its own, you know.
Is it something that you just decided you were going to do? Did family inspire you? Is it something that you just thought, why not just take a chance?
Yeah, definitely. Why not take a chance? I mean, with the people were telling me around town and stuff, and my family always was trying to push me to go try out for one of those shows and see, just see what happens. Why not? And listening to that and kind of following in their confidence within me kind of inspired me to go ahead and take the shot.
We'll talk about that experience a little bit more here in just a second, but I have to ask, how much of the experience you've had here locally at local venues give you that confidence to continuously build as a musician and to become the musician that you are becoming?
Yeah, I mean, there's one place in particular that I can't thank enough. They're actually closing down now, unfortunately, but Wine Knocks for giving me my start. Definitely can't thank them enough for that. And some other places in town like River Club and things like that. Wandering Sun Meadery now, playing a couple of times there. And that just also allows me to definitely build the confidence within, singing the songs and seeing everybody else's reaction to, is this a good one? Is this a one I need to go do some more work on? Some things like that. And it really gives me the space to kind of work on that. You know what I mean? Instead of just at the house, actually get feedback from a live audience, people sitting there and see what their perspective is.
You played football, right?
Yeah, I did.
So you know what the nerves are like. A game starts and a game's about to beginning, but how do you cut down the nerves of walking into a room with Lionel Richie, Katy Perry, and how do you cut those nerves before having to perform?
Those nerves, I'm just going to say, are in a whole nother stratosphere. It's not even close. It's the only thing that got close to that was one time when I played in middle school. I played guitar in front of the gym when it was like a talent show. And that was, my fingers were almost barely moving on the guitar because I was so nervous. It was kind of like that. But like we said, playing around town and stuff like that kind of helped me, fall into the song instead of focusing on them, I guess, because if you focus on them, you're just going to be in your own head the entire time, but it was pretty nerve-wracking.
So walk us through that California experience. How long did you have to wait to do your audition, and what was the audition like?
Yeah, so they had us out there for about 2 to 3 days, I think it was. And the first couple of days are just interviews and stuff like that, or some pictures. They do some social media pictures and stuff like that. And, you're just waiting there and you're kind of getting almost more nervous as you sit there. But luckily there was awesome people there with like the other contestants and stuff. And we kind of formed a little group in terms of we would kind of do little jam sessions. We'd all sing together, and that kind of helped relieve the tension. You know what I mean? And but other than that, they also had rehearsal. So you could go in front of like a couple of the producers and you could play a couple of your songs of what you were thinking you might do for the audition. And they kind of help you on some feedback of maybe this certain part of the song needs to be longer. Maybe don't play this whole part of the song because you only have a certain amount of time. They'd like you to stay under, I think it was like 2 minutes or so, for whatever song you're going to sing. But
So which songs did you sing?
so my first one was Ain't No Sunshine by Bill Withers, which is always a good one. It's a good classic. But that one didn't wow them enough. So they asked me, do you have anything else? And I ended up singing Easy by the Commodores, which Lionel Richie happens to sing. So that was interesting, his own song in front of him, you know?
Oh,
But,
that had to be nerve-wracking within itself, just knowing that was coming up. Did you have a second song prepared at that moment, or was it on the fly?
well, I had 3 songs I was up in the air on. I was going to do Ain't No Sunshine, River by Leon Bridges, or Pride and Joy by Stevie Ray Vaughan. And the easy one kind of was last minute because I thought, why not? You know, he's sitting right there. Why not sing his own song to him?
And it ended up working. So walk us through that process. You sing that first song. They ask you to do one more. What happened after that?
Yeah. So the second song, as I get deeper during the chorus, there's like kind of a higher note that I hit, and Katy Perry immediately went, whoa. And I was, I'm not the one person that has the most confidence. Like some of these other contestants, they kind of know what they have. I feel like I still have a lot of room to build. So for me to hear that from her, and then for her to say that she was shocked, she didn't expect to hear that part of my voice was pretty awesome.
Now, we've been fortunate to be able to play your music here on Roco Radio, so we know the voice range. Do you, when you go into a performance like that, are you thinking I need to stick within a certain range that I have to show off my best, or are you just going up there saying I'm giving it all that I have, I'm leaving it up on that stage?
Yeah, I think I'm thinking of, I guess from what I noticed, and it's nothing against people that do it because I feel like I can't. I guess that's part of why I don't do it. But the people that do the crazy high belts and the crazy runs, I feel like that's not really my brand, I guess you could say. Mine, I guess you would say, is more about the feeling that you get and the dynamics of maybe not everything has to be loud, not everything has to be flashy, but you're going to feel the message that is getting put across.
Yeah, there's a storytelling element to the music, right? There's especially to your music that maybe some people can grab you going way high, going way low, or whatever. But with you, I especially sense it in your music. It's getting that story out and being able to tell a story that you might not necessarily hear otherwise.
100%. And it's actually one of the compliments that I am over the moon that I got from Lionel Richie. It's what he said. He said, you're a great storyteller. And when I heard that from him, I had to kind of had to look around. Am I actually in reality right now? Hearing that from him was pretty outstanding.
So when you get done with the audition, you find out 2 of 3, right, voted for you to move forward.
Correct.
You find that out. Was the exhilaration of finding that out, did it match the fear or maybe nervousness you had going in? And then what was like sharing that experience with those that maybe have went with you to California, if you had anybody with you?
Yeah. I mean, finding out while they're sitting there, because they're as blunt as they get, or they come, I guess, because Katy Perry, the exact words that she used were, she could have been getting her hair done with the first song, I guess. Ooh. Kind of saying that she was that bored. And I was like, okay, well, so that was another element, is listening to them make their decision. Katy, during her decision, said, I was a no, but then you sang the second song and that converted me to a yes. So that was cool to change her mind. And then Luke said it was too coffee shop vibe, I guess, kind of just a small venue, I guess you could say, kind of in the background music. Mm-hmm. Which kind of happens to be the gigs that I was kind of familiar doing. Wine Knocks is kind of more of a laid back atmosphere. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to outdo everybody's conversations, kind of just trying to sit in the pocket behind everybody and kind of be that atmospheric sound to everybody else. So I kind of get what he was saying. And Lionel took a little bit. So I was sitting there pretty nervous while he was kind of deciding, my fate. But in terms of how the experience was with everybody that I brought was fantastic. I brought my son, I brought my girlfriend at the time, I brought my mom, and I brought my daughter. And that was pretty special. All them being there to support me while going and doing this was fantastic.
The crazy part too is, for me as a dad sitting here hearing that you brought your kids, they now have that example of you reaching for your dreams, aiming for your dreams, taking that next step in the ladder of your dreams, and they seen you do that firsthand. So how powerful is that for you as a dad? How does that make you feel as a dad to be able to do that?
Yeah, I mean, that part definitely makes me feel good. That's kind of the whole thing that I was trying to put across there, was for him that if you want the things, you're gonna have to go do the hard ones, to go reach the dreams and goals that you want to set for yourself. You're gonna have to go put yourself in the uncomfortable positions in order to get the glory, to get the gold, I guess you could say. So that was great that I could kind of show him that. My little girl is a little too young to kind of realize that. That's why I'm not mentioning, her realizing it and stuff. But yeah, he's 7 and she's 2. So that was pretty awesome.
Troy Frobeen joining us here on Roco Radio, talking about his experience with American Idol and his musical journey. Let's talk a little bit about that for those that aren't familiar with you as much. How did you get into music? Where did the music passion start?
Yeah, so excuse me. I guess you could say music is in my earlier years. Music was kind of a passion for me that I didn't really put out in the world. It was more of a closet, I guess you could say, passion, because it was more, sports focused. And I was really focused on sports and trying to get to the league and trying to do these things. And in the back of my mind, I always was doing those things so that later I could play music. So I'd have enough money to not worry about anything else, and I can go have fun and do music, because that's really what everything was at my core. I didn't really outwardly show that at the time, but that was my true passion. My grandpa got me into guitar lessons, and that really sparked it all. I kind of quit those for a little bit and then went to college as a preferred walk-on for football. And then I tore my ACL, and I started slacking off on the rehab and lost all motivation for pretty much anything at the time. And that kind of led me to pick up the guitar again and really see what stories I had to tell, and the passion that was there for that.
What's next for you on American Idol, and what's next for you on your music career and your journey?
Yeah, so coming up, I think it's this Sunday and Monday. I think they're doing 2 episodes. It'll be Hollywood Week. And as you've seen, or if anybody's watching it, they don't show all the auditions. Even if someone got the ticket, like for me, they didn't show my audition. And for other people that got the ticket that I know that was, that were there during Hollywood Week, they didn't show their audition either, which is kind of interesting. But there is a small chance that they might show our Hollywood Week performance. But that's what's next on the agenda for that. And in terms of music on the next front of that, I'm definitely trying to write at least an EP or an album for this year, most definitely.
Troy Frobeen joining us here on Roco Radio. Before we let you go, what's from the experience of American Idol, what's the one thing you want to take from it, or maybe a couple things that you want to take from the experience moving forward, whether it's life experience or music experience?
I think it's both, twofold in terms of the music and life. I think you can kind of relate them together for an experience like this. For music, hearing those words from those type of people, that stature is really gives you a sense of validation. Gives you a confirmation of, okay, I'm doing something that's worthwhile. What I'm doing has value. Because I think a lot of artists fall into the "am I good enough" thing. And which will kind of drive you to become better and actually kind of help you. But that is definitely a big thing. And hearing those words from them will definitely kind of give you, okay, I'm on the right track. I'm doing, the right things. But for life also, I mean, it kind of shows that you're going to have to put yourself in those uncomfortable spots to be able to go do the things that you want to do. Like I said earlier, to show, my kids, those things are just going to have to be part of the journey that you're going to have to go.
Do you think this experience will help you go to those places maybe you haven't been able to go to yet?
I think so. And I think it also, it kind of teaches you that the nerves, you don't have to follow the nerves in a negative way. They can kind of help you on an excitement level. You can kind of see the nerves as, oh, we can convert this into excited energy and give them the energy that I'm feeling right now. Because there is a tendency, when you're up there to get all locked in and stuff like that. But instead, just use that to push out and give that energy instead of holding it in and, worrying too much.
Troy, we are thankful for your time. We're thankful for you as a musician and what you do in our community, and we're thankful that you get this experience. Thanks for stopping by here on Roco Radio. Keep doing what you do and keep being you.
Will do. I greatly appreciate it.